All right. Good. Anyway, hi. Happy Valentine's Day. Welcome back to Blades in the Dark, here on the Random Encounters Guild. I'm Jenna. I will be your benevolent immortal empress for this evening. And this is my crew of scum and villainy. Say hello, crew.
Hello, crew.
Hello.
Hello,
Bro.
Good enough for me. Yeah, we are going to go around real quick and tell everybody who you are and who you're going to be playing, and then we are going to jump right in, because today is a very special day. As anybody who follows the Random Encounter Guild knows, Valentine's Day is our official Duskval holiday that everybody knows and loves. But Jenna, in the timeline, it's only been like a week. Shut up. It's whatever day I say it is. Valentine's Day forever. There you go. Problem solved. Anyway. Brandon, who are you? Who are you playing?
My name is Brandon. I play Sebastian Vale, codename Vale, a foolish man who's going to make a beautiful corpse, and I'm very excited for our special event tonight. I'm going to pass the mic over to Brett.
I am Brett. I am playing. His real name is Christoph, but he is known by everybody as Classic Peebo Jorts. So he is the athletic man, but yeah. Appears glitching a little bit. Give me a second.
Peebo's wearing a red shirt this evening.
Yes, he apparently is. But yes, and I will pass that down to Scott then.
I'm Scott. I'm playing Barnabas Fisher. He's a whisper. And over to the other Scott.
I'm Scott, and I'm playing Eddie the Hulk Hawkins. He is a thief, cat burglar.
Excellent. All of you lucky fools just finished what actually went off as a really nice, nothing went wrong score/soiree. You guys had a great time. You made some friends. You robbed a vault. Everything was going good. And then some rando that you've never seen before meets you under a streetlight at the end of it. And how did he even know where you were? And tells you that because you took away one of his assets, a ghost who may or may not have previously been involved in some way with Vale, that you're going to have to return the favor somehow. And the favor that they need is a book from a library abandoned, left forlorn in the Lost District, which anybody who is not familiar with Duskfall, there are lightning barriers surrounding the city that keep the ghosts out. The problem is people keep dying in Duskfall, but the outside ghosts stay out. That's pretty good. The horrors stay out. The Lost District was abandoned and is on the outside of the lightning barriers. So it is the old, fancy, old money place from like 100 years ago before the lightning barriers were put up. So there's cool stuff you can find out there, but also there's monstrosities. And now there's also you. So we're gonna hop right in here. You use Nettle's secret lab dock that was right next to the lightning barrier to get off to the other side. I don't care how you get past the lightning barrier. My question for you is where you come out of the lightning barrier is not near the library that you need to get to. So how are you planning on traveling there? This is kind of like your approach detail, I guess you could say, because you basically have no choice but for the score to be a cult. So the detail I'm asking you, how are you traveling through the Lost District?
That's a good question. Can we do it through the waterways? I can't remember how the map exactly works right now.
I don't remember either, but that seems reasonable. Yeah, that's an option.
Maybe our loyal boat could be a mechanism for us traveling. And we've been, securing it lately, though. Ostensibly, it could be more than a place where we just seem to get ambushed all the time.
It probably needs to be moved anyway. Seeing as how everybody knows where it's at.
I think Barney just scraped all the barnacles off, right? So I think it's shipshape.
Okay, so you know what? I'm not even going to question that. I love it for you. Somehow you managed to get your barge unnoticed and unseen through the lightning barrier. How does that work? Problem for later. And get as close as you can to the library with your boat. I'm also not going to ask you what your loadout is, because unless you're absolutely not understanding the concept here, everyone's loadout is max, full, all of it.
Yes.
What I'm saying is you're going into the
Going heavy.
Deathlands. And now, here you are, in front of this library. So, the Lost District, let's go ahead and get our bearings here for a bit. This is the first time any of you have been out here.
Mhm.
You might have wandered into the Deathlands before, you might have taken a train, but you've never been to the Lost District. And it is an interesting, not time capsule, because everything's, rotted and worn down, and it hasn't been kept pristine, but it's a look into what Duskfall used to be like before the Cataclysm. And I am not going to do that thing where I describe normal things as like weird and strange, because we don't have time for me to do descriptions of normal stuff. So I'm just
Yes, we
going to
do.
tell you, your characters don't know what they're seeing, but what you are seeing is solar panels on all of the top of these houses, and street lights that don't look the same as the street lights inside Duskfall, and like telephone boxes and solar powered billboards and street signs with solar powered lights on top of them. Duskfall before the Cataclysm was entirely solar powered. It looks like the technology was actually farther advanced from what you have now, and humanity got hit pretty hard in the Cataclysm. It doesn't seem like anything's working at this bit. Solar panels need to be maintained regularly. These ones were not. But parts of them still exist. So you find yourself in front of, if you're familiar, think about it like the Louvre, a large, fancy library with like a big glass, like pyramid roof dome, which probably, if there was sun, would be really beautiful to sit underneath of. A lot of this glass is smashed in. The building's a little bit like half sunk down. There's dirt and debris and walls from other things that have fallen, sort of crumbled on top of it. But you can definitely see that this is the library that you are supposed to go find this one specific book in. You go inside. There are lights. They do not work. There is a front desk, like the librarian's help desk, right at the front. There's rooms for restrooms. There's what looks like maybe a break room situation right behind the desk. There is an elevator, and then that's sort of all that's on this level. It's like the entryway, and it seems that anything else library wise must be on lower levels below, is what the elevator would be for. I said it was solar powered. I didn't say it was accessible. There are no stairs.
Vale is very excited to be out here. To your point, Jenna, he's never left the barriers before, and he's got his arm around the hawk, and he just said, "We were told that everything past the lightning barrier was dead, that there was nothing left. That was a lie. Duskfall's a cage."
You haven't seen anything living yet, but maybe. It does look like there's still stuff on the front desk, if you wanted to see if there was any information about this area.
I'll head over there.
Yeah, Hawk will go over there too.
All right. So a couple things you see. I'm not even going to make you roll for it. Barney, on the desk, crumpled, mildewed, moth-eaten. You know, a lot of stuff that is around you is useless and decrepit and gross. It looks like the librarian that worked here was in the building during the cataclysm, and her effects are still on this table. So there was a purse kind of like knocked over and spread out with like a really old like lipstick and like mirror compact, that sort of thing. There is an open diary on the table, and there is a gold locket, like kind of with this diary. And you look down, a lot of the pages are sort of, I mean, it's messed up, right? But you get that a lot of what's in this is love letters. And the last one that's in there is this librarian, it looks like her name was Fawn, was in love with a Skovelander who went off to war, and he has not yet returned, and she is just waiting for her darling Edlin to come back. The curious thing, as you look at what is actually a photograph, not a painting, a photograph inside this gold heart-shaped locket, is the face looks very familiar to you. And if you didn't know better, I mean, Edland is just the spitting image of Eddie the Hawk Hawkins.
Hey, look.
I mean, you know, shave the mustache. That's him.
You should shave your mustache.
You look good.
Fantastic. Did you put this here as a prank? Hawk, come now.
No, when would I have been here?
How old are you?
How old are you?
Old enough to have
What
spent
are
most
you
of my
telling
time
us?
in prison.
Did you really?
Is this your father? Do you recognize this man?
Looks like me. I didn't really know my father. Sorry. Could
His
be.
name is Edlin Fisk. Doesn't really ring a bell. Doesn't sound anything like your family name. He's Skovland. You're not Skovelander. Just one of those things, I guess.
I
Ned Lind,
I grew up
Eddie. It's a little bit of a coincidence.
sorry, Peebo. You want to wait on the boat?
If I'm waiting on the boat, it's not going to be here when you get back.
So while these guys are doing whatever they're doing, Hawk, you're
Joshing the
obviously
talk.
not interested. You don't care about this sort of thing. But you do glance over, and through the like half still attached door to the break room, there is actually something interesting on the counter in there. There's a fridge, a couch that doesn't look like a couch anymore. There's an old, what would pass as a TV. This is like break room, right? Like with the office panel ceiling, exactly what you're thinking of. That's what this looks like, but like it got hit by a hurricane 100 years ago. But on the counter is something kind of shiny. You go over and it's brass. These are brass espresso tools and an old espresso machine.
Ooh.
Here's
Are
the
you
thing.
sure you haven't been here, Hawk?
Does it work? He starts fiddling with it. He's seen Tommy fool with these things before, so he
Mhm.
at least has some notion of how to turn it on anyway. Does it work?
It needs a good cleaning for sure. But it looks like it could be in working order. It looks like when it was maintained, it was meticulously maintained.
Where do you even stick the electroplasmic battery? There's no ghost conduit anywhere.
Barney can fix that. I'll be right back. And he's just gonna grab it and take it to the boat.
So here's another fun little lore drop for you. In Duskfall, the way that brass is antimicrobial in our world, it is very similarly anti-electroplasmic, anti-ghost in Duskfall. So brass is very rare and expensive. It doesn't repel ghosts. It's not like a magnet, but a ghost that would normally be able to, for example, pick something up or like make something hover or whatever, just kind of can't do
Interact
that
with it.
with brass. And just like anything antimicrobial, if a ghost tries to touch something brass for too long, it just sort of like eats away at the spirit. So there's a lot of brass in the Church of Ecstasy, but it's hard for most people to get their hands on it. It's a sought after metal.
He's gonna scoop it up and run it back to the boat and just kind of set it, put it somewhere in the common room or whatever. But the tools you mentioned, the tamper and all that, he's
the tamper, the scoop.
I think
he's gonna
people
shove
would
that
be
in
like
his-
help. I could help you, Eddie, and like I'd grab up all the tools and carry them right behind you. I was like, yeah, I know we need these too, Eddie. Don't worry, or Hawk, and I'd grab them together and follow you down back to the boat.
Yeah, I was gonna not leave those on the boat. Just put the machine on the boat and bring the tools with me. I was just gonna shove them in my my trench coat and keep those on my person.
Okay. Well, I'd probably carry him to the boat and lay him down, and then you'd be like, oh no, I want to keep these, and then you pick them back up and take them back with us. But
and then we run back into to where we were, so that
yeah, see if they fixed the elevator yet.
Yeah, Barney has been
Barney
uncomfortable.
should have the elevator working by now.
Barney has
He
been
doesn't, he's
uncomfortable the
fired.
entire time until he's gotten to the library, where the pull of science is to push away the fear of being outside the lightning barrier. But yeah, he's going to start looking for any type of map or guide or reference to where things are in this building. Since we have no, there's no record of this place.
By the elevator is one of those like sort of like a hospital map, right? Like one of those clear acrylic, on this level is this, on this level is that. You are on the ground level. It is the welcome desk and amenities, we'll say. And then under that, it goes 1 and then 2 and 3. So the farther down you go, the farther down it goes. So it's the different sections of the library, and then the farthest down, level 4, is the scriptorium.
Which is where we think the material is.
That would make sense, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds likely, Barney.
Looks like it. If there's no other way, we have to figure out a way down this shaft.
You look down there, the elevator shaft is dark. It looks like the elevator compartment is stuck somewhere below between levels. It's not, you are seeing the shaft right now.
Okay. So I have climbing gear, so I think we would start trying to configure the climbing gear to move our way down this elevator shaft.
I have climbing gear too, so would I be able to assist him?
I don't see why not. Or we could make it a group action.
Yeah.
I think a group action's better because we're all gonna have to climb our way down to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's do it.
You guys climb and then catch me when I jump.
Who's gonna lead the action? This is typically this has not been the most athletic group of scout.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, George is the athlete.
Oh yeah, I'm an athlete. So if you guys aren't the athletic ones, then
That's
guess
why
I'm-
he's got jorts. He's got to keep his legs open and limber.
I'm the geek, so yeah, no.
I mean,
Not looking forward to this one.
prowl and finesse.
unfortunately the camera doesn't catch the bottom half where I'm actually wearing Peebo's jorts. So
That was
Yeah,
on purpose. Twitch would ban us. Yeah, Prowl and Finesse seem pretty reasonable options here. Yeah, because
Okay.
I'll just go ahead and tell you, you don't currently see any ghosts, any horrors, any problems. You don't currently see any. But the more noise you make, the more attractive you become. Actually, you know what would probably make sense? Let's just go ahead and have a 4-part clock on screen. We don't need to put any ticks on it right now, but just we might as well get that going.
All right.
All right.
So yeah, I start fiddling with the climbing gear, and I'm really not figuring it out properly. So and then yeah,
It's a Peebo. He knows what he's doing. That's why we brought him.
yeah.
Here, no, you have to do the overhand knot and tie it like this.
Do you want the what will this clock be? What's the
name?
Name?
Time until Scott dies.
Guests arrive.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Okay, so we're doing a group action, and Peebo is going to take the weight of our failure.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what he's here for.
That's what I'm here for.
Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right, roll it.
He immediately dies in the elevator.
It's been a while. Is this D6 or is this D20?
This is
D6.
D6.
Okay, I thought
so if you're rolling, like Finesse, for example, is trying to be dexterous and careful, which makes sense here to me, then you would roll however many dots you have in Finesse.
It's going to be 1, but 'cause I have 0, so.
Oh, if you have 0, then you're actually rolling with disadvantage.
Correct.
But here's the thing, though. Everybody is rolling in a group action. You're just the one that takes the stress if people fail.
Right.
But we could always do some devil's bargain.
You know,
How do you do a devil's bargain for a group action? Well, I just give everybody 1 die and make it a good one.
I'll take that devil's bargain.
Oh, excellent. Perfect. I don't even need to tell you what it is.
I'll take it.
Nope. So then instead of rolling 2 dice and taking the lower, I only roll 1 dice, right?
Yes. Okay, so just to be clear,
What
everybody is rolling for a group action, and any successes count as a success. Any failures, Peebo Jorts takes the stress of. If we were to do a devil's bargain for a group action, which I don't even think you're allowed to do, but I do what I want, it would be all or nothing because this is a group action. So everybody agrees to it or it doesn't happen. But if everybody agrees to it, then everybody gets a bonus die. That is how I am ruling group devil's bargains.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I'll pass my vote on to Brett since he's going to be the one taking the stress.
I'll say yes.
Okay. I'm good with it.
See, they're all for it. As long as I say go, we're gonna go.
It's a go. All right, I'm going to roll Finesse.
Okay, go for it.
And we get an extra die?
Everybody gets an extra die.
Oh, I only rolled 1. I'm going to roll 1 more.
I'm going to roll Prowl.
I'm going to roll Prowl as well.
5, 5, and a 3.
Oh. I rolled a 2 as my
That's
highest.
the wrong dice. Perfect.
Give me 1 moment
1.
because
Just
I
one
need
stress.
to.
I don't have a
make
character
a
sheet
note.
set up to have the fancy rolls like they do, so.
Your sheet's already set up. You just have to click on
is?
it.
Well, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I don't think we had the Roll20 the last time you played.
No.
Mr. Scott, did you roll?
Not in Roll20.
Oh, right. You've got your fancy die. What was your roll?
I had 2 5s and a 3.
Okay, so Barney, I think that's just going to be one stress for you.
Not for me.
Wow.
For Peebo.
But anyway, I got a 1.
Oh yeah, you're right. For Peebo, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. So, sorry. Catch me up. I was writing down the consequences of that devil's bargain.
Yes.
So we succeeded overall, but Peebo is going to take 2 stress as a result of other people failing.
Excellent. Perfect. That's actually, you got away pretty good, let's say.
Yeah.
Success overall. Okay, so this, I'm just going to say that this takes a while, but you guys do manage to do it quietly. I imagine that you are prioritizing quiet over, yeah. So you managed to get down there. All of the elevator doors are, the doors to the different floors are open. Maybe that was like a safety thing, or when it shorted, it just, whatever. All the doors are open. You hit about level 2 when the what's it called? The car, I guess. The elevator part itself.
The car. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Is in your way now. So you can get into level 1 and you can get into level 2, but if you want to go down farther, you're going to have to do something about this, like the car that's there.
Yeah, Vale's going to start fiddling around on the roof and seeing if there's a way to get into the car.
Yeah, it looks like there is exactly the sort of like emergency hatch that you would expect. It is rusted AF. So it's almost like the oxidation has almost welded it shut, but there isn't it's not like locked or trapped or anything.
Sure.
That you know of.
Right.
Hey, just real quick, that ability that lets you know when people's lying, that doesn't count for me, right?
No.
Okay.
And I have to invoke it. Well, you can choose to invoke it as well, but it's not like something you always have to be thinking about. Like we can decide when it clicks and when it doesn't. And no, it doesn't apply to you.
Excellent.
Vale is unbelievably useful in this situation, and he points out and he says, "It's locked."
That would be my cue.
Barney's kind of distracted while they're fiddling with that because he's useless at this. So he's just kind of looking out in the second floor landing or second floor elevator area, just kind of not exploring, but seeing what's around.
Mm-hmm. It looks like this place hasn't been ransacked in any way. It looks like most of the problems here are just when the glass shattered, the elements got in. So, there's wet, there's bugs, so a lot of the books are ruined. Not all of them are, but a lot of them are. Some of the shelves have like sort of decayed and then fallen, and the books are kind of in like a pile. But considering this is a 100-year-old library, it's not in the worst shape. And I will say that it smells musty in here, but you guys live in the docks in Duskfall where it smells horrible. So this is like fresh air for you. Because like the sewer system and all that stuff like is not around here. So it just smells like musty old books. It's kind of refreshing.
Kind of have to agree with Vale. This is the better place to live.
It's quite nice, isn't it? It's not crowded. There's no one jostling us. I don't want to exaggerate, but perhaps the stories are exaggerated.
We haven't seen everything there is to see out here yet.
Exactly.
Yes, you're 100% right, Peebo. Thank you. Finally, a voice of reason.
Scott, do you have a roll for me?
Yeah, I guess I will roll finesse. And what did we decide on pushing? Is it just, it's 2 stress or 1?
Pushing is 2 stress and helping is 1?
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't get all the way through writing down our cheat sheet like I did for there's a lot to put in there, so I'm not.
I know that we're not quite doing position and effect with this as well. So we have demolition tools on our sheet, which I think might be able to help with something like this. Jenna, how would you like to play items coming into effect with something like that?
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the easiest way to do that is to just add an extra die and be done.
Cool. I'll make it so. I'll mark off 2 ticks on my sheet for the demolition tools, and Scott, I'm giving you the assist, so I'll take the stress for that.
It just feels easier to me to do it that way than mess with math. I don't math.
Yep. That's a good solution.
All right, so that'll give me 2.
Oh, 2.
For finesse?
Yeah, I've got 1 in finesse.
Oh.
I could have done that.
I got 2 in prowl.
Oh.
But that is a 5 and a 3.
Okay, cool. A 5.
Nice.
So yeah, you make pretty short work of this, and now you have 2 options. You can exit on any of the levels already available to you, or you can just go through the car. I will also say, since you had demolition tools specifically, you could use them to get through the bottom of the car. I'm not going to make that a separate roll, but that seems like a reasonable thing that you should.
Or could we have used the demolition tools to like cut the cables and then just ride the car down as it crashes down the shaft?
And jump at the last second?
Yes.
That's how that works.
That's called basketball physics, baby.
Yep.
I'm just standing on the second floor.
Lost district citizen.
I'm just standing on the second floor landing, watching it happen.
Yeah, Vale immediately jumps down into the bottom of it with the crowbar and the pry bar, and is just wrenching and obsessively tearing at the second thing to get in.
Yeah, sure.
Down to the next level.
So it was a 5. What was the consequence?
Oh, the consequence is, while you are doing that, because he kind of got you in the top, Vale jumps into the car, and you guys are waiting for him to finish his thing, and a beautiful woman, used to be, ghost of who is probably Fawn the librarian, is restacking books and passes by the elevator. So you are not entirely alone here. She's a separate special thing. She's separate from our party clock. And she doesn't seem like an echo, like she doesn't seem like she's in a loop, but she does seem like she's doing her job. So she hears the demolition tools, because demolition is not quiet, and she's got like these ghostly books in her hand, and she turns and she sees Lynn. My love, you've returned.
I've missed you.
I knew we'd be together one day. I knew you'd come back for me. And she starts like moving towards you.
Jenna did this on purpose.
Yep, happy Valentine's Day, happy birthday. I thought, Vale kind of had his own episode with Caro, and then Barney kind of had his day in the not sun at the party, and I really just thought it was your turn, Scott.
Hawk, you dirty dog.
Be like, Barney, I told you I knew it was him.
He's much older than we thought he was.
What are you doing?
No,
What are you
much
doing?
older.
I don't know what
You're
to
about
do,
be
because he totally would not want this to happen.
I know she's dead, but she's beautiful. Good job, Hawk.
He will step forward and into the room and just kind of sidestep. Not necessarily like running from her, but just kind of like coming towards her and then just sidestepping. and quickly scanning the room is see if there's any other creatures about.
Sure. I'm not supposed to ask for specific roles, but that sounds like a study to me. Or a survey, probably. Also, I would just like to say, Brandon, please make a note of an XP for that line, because I know she's dead, but she's hot is the most Vale thing that Vale has ever said. And
I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, it's beautiful. She's hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah.
Got a 6 on survey.
Also the 6.
A 6 on survey. Okay. There that you know of are not any other ghosts around. You didn't like attune to the ghost field, but there isn't anything visible. The one thing you do kind of clock is that there is actually something in here making noise that you either didn't hear before or wasn't making noise before. And it seems to be some sort of like you thought it was like a statue or something at first, but this seems to be some sort of mechanical it's like an automaton that's connected to a book cart, and this looks like it's probably meant to reshelve the books. And this thing is like clicking and sort of whirring away on its little wheels. It's got little claws for book reshelving.
Is it going by the Dewey Decimal System?
You are not entirely sure what system it's going by, and up until this moment, it was actually like reshelving nothing onto a shelf that had been completely like decimated, and all the bits are on the ground. So it keeps like picking up the same book off the ground, putting it onto the shelf that should be there. It falls. It's having an existential crisis is what it's doing. That does not seem to notice you and or care about you at this moment. But you know who does notice and care about you deeply? Fawn.
I apologize for my absence, my love. I've tried to return to you for it seems like forever.
Oh, this war. When will it end?
Scott is uncomfortable. Yes, the war is horrible. Have you not left this library this whole time?
She seems confused by what you mean this whole time.
I've been gone for a while.
Well, I have been waiting patiently, but the library, I have a duty.
Of course, you're correct.
But it does not seem like she realizes that any time has passed since the cataclysm happened.
Yeah.
Hawk. Kind of like, trying to like.
My love, this is my friend Peebo. Peebo.
Officer?
Kind of like take a bow and then like awkward, and it's nice to meet you. Edland has nothing but nice things to say.
Oh, what a charmer. And she sort of looks past you and sees that, oh, actually there are other people here since you introduced Peebo. She's like, it seemed like she only had eyes for you for a moment and now is kind of realizing. Oh, is the
Oh, this is Barney, and I'm like,
maintenance? Is there something wrong with the elevator?
Yes, we're here to fix it for you.
Oh, well, excellent. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to the library guests. You know, safety is quite important.
But we might need to get some parts and stuff from the bottom floor. You don't have any other way to get there, do you?
Give me a roll.
Let's see here.
The sway?
It's probably sway, which again I'm not good at.
I could see consort.
Consort?
Because you're being friendly. Sway, I mean, you are lying to her. You don't need parts for the elevator, but...
It's, yeah, it really doesn't matter because I have 0 dots in either one, so...
And also, yes, internet,
I'm supposed to be the muscles, not the talker, so... I'll take over the talker role, it's just gonna have bad rolls.
Those are the best kind. Yes, internet, exactly. I'm aware that you cannot usually talk to ghosts without some sort of special ability or piercing the veil or whatever it's called in this game. Yeah, I get it. Shut up.
And I will say, internet, Vale is assisting Peebo Jorts with his ghost voice ability, which specifically allows him to do that. So,
internet.
Peebo, whatever you're rolling, add +1 die, and I'll take the stress.
Okay, well, I already rolled the disadvantage, and it was a 4 and a 4, so it didn't really matter. So.
All right, 4's not bad. Okay. The most reasonable thing to me seems like tick the clock. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and put a tick on that clock. And tool the lower. Yes, of course. There are many tools down there. Yes. For the patrons of the library, of course.
Fawn, come with us.
Oh, my darling, nothing could keep me away from you. And she is, of course, talking to the hawk. She goes to like try and caress your face. You know that you do not want ghosts to touch you.
Does the brass that is on my person not repulse her?
I mean, you have it like in your pocket, correct?
Yeah, it's in my trench coat, but I didn't know if they could just sense. They have to lay eyes upon it, or I have to threaten them with it.
Touch it.
Think, yeah, like there's something between her and it right now, right? Like
it's inside a pocket.
Even if she touched your clothes, it wouldn't be the same as touching your skin. Right. So in that same sense, like even if she touched your pocket, which she won't because I'm not that kind of GM, not that kind of game, then it wouldn't be the same as her like touching the actual brass itself.
Okay. Well, when she reaches out, he will, like he did before, he will just say, "My love, show us to." He'll just kind of, again, just kind of bob and weave, and the sooner we get these tools, the sooner we'll have this elevator fixed, and we can get these gentlemen out of our hair.
Yes, and then it will be just us. I would like just a general roll from you for sort of like putting on this character whom you do not know and talking with a ghost that you're extremely uncomfortable with. I'm not going to make you do it all the time. I just want to get kind of an overview idea of how good at acting the hawk is in this situation.
So would it be sway?
Sway seems pretty reasonable to me, but if you can tell me why it would be something else. I mean, you have 1 dot in sway or consort, but I could see either of those. Probably
or finesse, but I only have 1 dot in that as well.
I could see finesse too, where you're like trying to keep her engaged and also not touching you. That seems
Yeah,
reasonable.
employ subtle misdirection or sleight of hand.
Yeah, any of those feel entirely reasonable.
Should do real skirmish.
I will go ahead and push myself on this one.
Okay. I
And,
can offer you a devil's bargain if you would like.
Oh, thank you. We will go ahead.
Don't even want to hear it.
Would you guys like to know the last devil's bargain that you agreed to, or do you just want me to leave it entirely secret?
Keep it secret. This is fun.
Keep it secret for now. Tell us later.
Keep it safe.
I got a 5.
All right, excellent. Okay, so, yeah, in general, I'm going to use that 5 kind of rolling throughout this. Is she seems a little confused and a little, you're not entirely what she was expecting, and a little, but overall, she seems very willing to buy it, and helpful and loving and graceful, and the perfect.
She's so happy. Yeah, she's so happy to see you that she's overlooking the discrepancies.
She's almost like radiating, like the glow, the aura. It's just yes, perfect. I love that for all of us. Okay, so, yes, of course. That is the elevator for the patrons of the library, of course, but we have a slightly larger for the book carts. Of course we. Yes, it's this way. I remember. And she starts walking through to a different part of the library, where there is a separate elevator shaft that is, you know, the kind they have in like hospitals that opens on both sides and it's big enough to get like,
like a utility elevator.
Yep, utility elevator. And there's not access on this one to the top floor. It seems it only goes where the books need to go.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Vale is like halfway upside down inside the bottom of the elevator shaft, like with the lamp and everything in there, and he sort of whips his head up, kind of realizing what's happening, and he's awkwardly assembling and getting everything up. And Jenna, if you don't mind, I'm going to do a quick flashback.
Yes, please.
Like a week ago, we're back at the Raven's Nest, and we're talking about getting ready for this, and he's talking with the Hawk, and he says, "Hawk, we've encountered dangerous spirits, but I suspect when we're out in the Deathlands, we'll encounter all kinds of them. If you ever encounter a spirit who wants something, just give them what they want. It's the fastest way to do that. They won't remember. You're not being a bad person. You're being a good crew member." And then we'll flash back, and he's continuing to gather his supplies and walking down the hallway and chasing to catch up with everybody.
That is free flashback. So now you guys have a choice to make. She doesn't seem to be aware that Vale was inside the elevator. So she is leading the 3 of you towards a utility elevator. And the shaft door is open, the same. The utility car is not there. And she goes, "Yes, of course, follow me." And walks and is floating as if the car was where she expected it to be. And is going to press the buttons and do the lever thing as if the car is where she expected it to be. But there is not anything there for you to stand on. And she is expecting you to follow her. Vale, you are now, we'll say, separate from your party. You don't have to go with them. You can continue going your own way. So I'm going to need you guys to tell me how it is you're handling this situation. And I need you to tell me that in about 5 minutes because I want to take a quick break. I'm out of water.
Okay. We will take just a couple minute break and we'll be right back.
We'll wait. And we're back. Between two elevator shafts. The title of this episode is just gonna be Shafted.
Nice.
No. Okay, so we're split into two groups here. What are you guys thinking?
One thing that
Go ahead, Scott.
one thing that while we were going, if I can pick up any books that look salvageable as we go, Barney is scooping them up because the knowledge contained with them is probably invaluable. So, like you said, most of them are moldy and what have you, but if there's any chance of me scooping them without the robot or her noticing, Barney would like to do that.
Sure. I am going to need a roll for that because you are trying to take a book without the book reshelving. For the purposes of Blades, this is basically a hull.
Hull, yeah.
The book reshelving hull and the head librarian ghost both need to not notice that you're taking books and stuffing them in your jacket.
Would it be assisting him that she's? Would it be assisting him that she's distracted by me?
If you are actively distracting her, then yes.
You definitely, like I said, during that whole exchange with you definitely see Barney like.
And there's books on like weird stuff up here, right? It's stuff like there's like recipe books that have like milk and eggs in them. Like who does that?
What are these things? Yes.
Right. Like you have heard of them, but like you're just gonna make like a breakfast with eggs? What am I, made out of money?
Yeah, really.
Relatable.
Yep.
So
yeah, I'd like to do
eat breakfast.
Yeah.
We play these games to get away from real life, Jenna.
Anyway, yes. So I'm gonna need some kind of roll from Barney, and you can go ahead and take the stress for an assist, Scott. It's 1 stress. But books like this would be pretty valuable to some academics or historians in Duskwall.
So a 5 and a 4. So 5.
Excellent. So she, as promised, because Scott helped you, doesn't seem to notice the reshelving hull is aware that you have moved its books. It doesn't seem to be going after you at this moment, but it still seems like it's doing its thing, but I'm gonna say go ahead and take that clock one more time.
Okay. So back to the elevator. So she's standing in the elevator.
Yeah, and I'll say simultaneously, Vale kind of has his stuff, and he sees this drama unveiling with this ghost, and being reckless and obsessed, he just says, we don't have time for this. And he turns around and he goes back to the original elevator shaft, and he starts lynching up his own climbing gear. He's going by himself.
That sounds exactly like what you would do. Just as a little treat. So this hull, Barney, that you are very carefully aware of because you're trying to like not let it see you, and you don't know if it has eyes or how that works. So you're just trying to be careful. A random ghost, you almost can't even, it's almost like that mist kind, like if you were attuned to the ghost field, you could see it. Mm-hmm. But so no one else can, but you can because you are sort of in tune with these things naturally. You just see that little bit of sort of around the edges, and you know enough to go, there's a ghost there. Just sort of wanders from just through one of the walls from the outside, and the hull just sort of and takes its little pincers that it used to restock the books, and it almost have you guys ever seen a spider catch something in its web where it just with the web? Yeah. It almost does that. Like, you guys don't know what this thing is doing. It looks like it's maybe like conga? But Barney knows that this is like
it's balling
wrapping,
up the ghost.
yeah, and then absorbs it.
Oh, that's fascinating.
And then goes back to what it was doing. And you go, oh, that's probably how that thing's still working.
It's absorbing ghosts. I'm loving this. Yeah, Barney may stay here. Barney may stay here and try and get a robot.
It is a little spider catching its little ghost flies. Yeah, so Vale keeps going. I'm gonna go ahead and say you get down to the bottom scriptorium floor, not a problem. I will come back to you in a second. The three of you are. Somebody asked something about a lever, I think. What
yeah, was there a lever at the elevator door that we could call for the...
Yeah.
Now, I'm fully assuming if I pull it, nothing's going to happen because there's probably no power or anything in this place.
There is not power, but there is there is an elevator call button.
So I'd kind of reach over for the button and just it's a button then. I'd be like, click, 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 click. And then look to her, to Fawn, and be like, Eddie there might want to join you, but I'm not sure I want to join you for that long of a time. Click, click. Not realizing, and I, like, out of character, I fully know she's gonna be like, what? But, like, Peebo wouldn't think of that at all.
Peebo's using his one brain cell to figure out that he wants to click the down button, not the up button.
Yeah.
Excellent. No roll for that. Just give me
I don't want
another
to turn out like Edwin might want to.
Oh my god. I don't think this should have been a 4-part clock.
I think it should have been a 2-part.
I have been extremely generous.
Tick, 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 tick.
The game gets fun when the clocks fill up. That's when they start.
Yep.
The only thing...
Speaking of clocks, tick-tock, she's waiting for you. What are you doing?
Yeah, the only thing Hawk can think of to say, and Scott can think of to say. So what you're saying is she thinks that she's standing in the elevator, like it has arrived and she's standing there.
Correct.
So, and then, how big is it? You said this shaft is kind of larger because it can fit the carts for the books.
Mm-hmm.
If it's kind of larger, is she standing like right in the middle of where the platform would be?
No, she has moved off to the side corner so that she can hit the button, do the lever thing. Like,
okay, right. Is there any shelves nearby that is in any kind of decent shape, or are all the shelves close by here pretty weathered?
Yeah, there are shelves, sure.
Because I also have the climbing gear and everything that I had assisted with too. I just take like a rope from my climbing gear, so I can go tie it around a shelf and then just toss the rope down right in front of her then.
Totally.
But like tie it to a shelf, throw it down so it gets down, and be like, Barney, do you guys, Edwin, do you see Hawk? Like I'm looking to like her, and then to you, Scott, I'm like, Edwin, Hawk, like I'm not sure what exactly I'm supposed to call you in this situation.
Edlund, definitely Edlund.
Edlund, yeah, we want to go with Edlund. Our sir.
Sir.
Because she thinks you're one of his officers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's kind of misty and kind of looks at it and goes, oh, I suppose I don't know how maintenance would fix elevators. Maybe that is a way. All right.
Yes,
well,
yes.
you're the experts, I suppose.
Yes, why don't you step off of there and let us get to the root cause of this.
Right. Quite right. And she goes to
I'll step back like a very healthy distance back because I don't want to be anywhere near this ghost at all, and I might even stand like behind the Hawk's shoulder or something like that, so he's in front of me, kind of shielding me.
She sort of lifts up the hem of what would be a dress, but is actually like just kind of ghostly mist at the bottom, and puts her hand out like a lady, so that you would like help her out of the elevator.
Well, Hawk is, as always, wearing black gloves, leather gloves, so he can.
All right. So you take her hand to help her out of the elevator. Such a gentleman. I would like you to take just a level 1 harm, cold. It just, you live in the South. It's -11 where I am outside. Your bones hurt, but you know that you will eventually get warm again.
It's snowing.
Oh, poor baby.
We got the message a little while ago that they were canceling school tomorrow. So.
Canceling for snow.
We're not going to get into this.
Yeah.
The point is, your hand where she took it, the glove does protect you, so it's only level 1 harm. You are cold. Your hand's almost like numb, like you're holding onto an ice cube. And it takes you everything not to like do the like.
Yeah.
But you manage, and you know that you will eventually. Your hand will thaw, but it is cold at the moment. Anything that involves 2 hands with very finicky dexterity, this one's going to be just a little bit.
Well, Edlin, I mean, it's been so long since you've seen Fawn. We can go down and finish the work if you'd like to stay with your love.
Yes, that might. Why don't you show me around the library and show me what you've done with the place in my absence?
And she lights up a little bit, but I would like a roll for this because you are still trying to convince the head archivist that you should be allowed in basically the restriction section by yourselves unaccompanied, and you don't have library cards. So it's
I have a library card
because you're tantalizing her with the idea of a date, but she does have an obligation.
Yeah, we won. Yeah. Pivo's right. We 100% have library guards. Flashback. Vale is with the crew in the Dusk Ball stacks somewhere in 6 towers in an old library of an old library of an old library, working with one of his contacts. And he is looking through historical documents and trying to not necessarily get an exact copy of, but to look forward. We knew that there would be echoes. We knew that there would be maybe some kind of security. And so Vale is trying to procure some sort of credential that would establish their bona fides associated with this sort of place, and is combing through whatever the 1860s version of microfiche are to try to find this thing.
Sure. I will say that is a 1 stress flashback, and that is extremely niche, and there's like frickin' 1 person in all of Duskball that this is like their hyperfixation, and you made a friend. Because they're like, someone else to talk to about the. Yeah, you made a friend. Let me see what.
As the 3 of them have like an official looking library card and everything like that, and then I pull mine out and it's like made with that's what mine looks like.
I'm surprised it's spelled right.
Was like, I got you covered, Peebo, and then he forgot to, and he just gave me that.
So I don't know if these would hold up to like meticulous scrutiny, but I think they are. I don't know if they're pre-cataclysm, but they are.
Especially mine.
They're very old library cards.
Excellent. I think they'll do great. By the way, your friend's name is Early Willis. And
Willis.
Yeah, I will put him in the game. This is a guy that is your bud and thinks that you have so much in common. Maybe he'll come up again. I don't know. I'll just write him down. Yeah, perfect. So take your 1 stress. You have very official looking. Early was so like you had like a whole montage of going through all this stuff. Like he even found like one of the other librarians' names to like sign the card and everything from like not this library, but like the there's like one in each city, right? So your library
Right.
card for like the Charter Hall one or something, but they work
Right.
all dusk. Of course. So like he did the whole very nerdy.
Yep.
Early
Vale's
on.
way into it. It's just so weird, and this guy's so lonely. He's feeding off of this energy.
Mm-hmm. He's probably going to ask you how this went when you came back. Anyway, so that happens. Yes, you totally have library cards, and the library cards are helpful. She, by the way, and the Hull are both a lot more at ease with you, especially Barney, like looking at books and picking things up and picking through things. Like the fact that there is a library card on your person is almost like, the cards. We'll say they're like badges in the library. That's how it works in Duskfall. It's almost like a clip, like a lanyard situation, right? So you have you all put your lanyards on, and the whole like is like, yes, okay, you're allowed to touch the books. Excellent, everything is all in order, and goes back to reshelving. So
Right,
yes,
so-
that is very helpful for all of you. She is much more all right with the idea of you going down with your special cards, with your special dispensation from the Charter Hall librarian.
So Bebo and I will start heading down this elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There you go. And Scott, I'm going to hop over to Vale, and then I will come back to you. So Vale, you get down to the bottom floor, the scriptorium, by yourself.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think Vale kind of drops the last 6 feet. He's not a very strong or healthy man, and hits the ground, shudders a little bit, and opens up his shirt and sees sort of his weeping, flayed wound that Barney imposed on him. And it's sort of maybe even smoking and reacting a little bit to being out in the Deathlands. And he sort of almost drunkenly gets up and stumbles, but the camera zooms into his open shirt, and we see his Spirit Bane charm hanging and kind of coming through it. And he gathers himself up. And so, Jenna, this is a deep cuts thing. I'm invoking my own harm right now. So if at any point during this, if you want to say, like, this is going to make life harder for you, go for it. And he takes out his lamp that he has, and he is putting himself forward and muttering to himself. He says, we need to find the book. 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 And he's moving his way forward and moving deeper into the Sanctorium.
Excellent. So a few things on that note. First of all, thank you. The reason that it's a bit of a rough fall is because you land on a pile of skeletons.
As one
what
does.
What can you do? And the skeletons are in various states of decay. Most of them look like they're sort of original to the Cataclysm issue, but not all of them. And the bits of them that are still visible, we'll say, have smudgy ink written all over their, like, dried leather husk of skin. Not like a tattoo, like a quill. Like a book.
They'll definitely catches that out of the corner of his eye and is immediately kneeling in the filth and decomposition and holding one of the skulls up, Hamlet style, with the lamp in one hand and the skull in the other one, and desperately trying to read the arcane scribblings or whatever they are.
Mm-hmm. And what is it you said you were repeating?
He's just like,
book? Is that what
I need to
saying?
find the book. I need to find the book. Yeah, why we're here.
So you hold your lamp up, and as you move farther into There's like the, I don't know what they're called, like a mud room, right? Like a little thing between the elevator and the actual room, whatever that's called, vestibule, I guess.
That's good.
You're kind of going through that, and as you go towards this opening into the actual scriptorium proper, which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, a scriptorium is where monks would like write their books and manuscripts. So this is not the part of the library where books are for other people. This is like more the academic and the bookmaking and the book writing part is what a scriptorium is. So there's like, you can already see there's like benches and desks and accoutrement for that sort of thing. But as you get closer, you're holding your light up, and you keep saying, "Gotta find the book, gotta find the book," and it's starting to write that on your finger. The words that you say are appearing in ink on your skin, and just sort of, and the more you say it, the more that happens.
Vale's not stopping.
Good man. Good man. It's a little bit weird in here, I'm afraid. It's a smidge weird down here in the scriptorium. You get the feeling this is probably not how Fawn left it. There seems to be some sort of failed ritual that has happened in the middle of this room. A bunch of the desks in the center had been pushed off to the side to make a big space, and there's salt, like runes and shapes and stuff on the ground that has been all blown away and mixed up, and you don't know what the original thing was supposed to look like, but you kind of get the idea of what it was supposed to have been. And there are bodies all over the floor, sort of like in a blown back from this position, and in the center on a little pedestal is a thing. You're not quite near it yet, but it's shiny. It looks like maybe gold with like a crystal or something. There's like a thing on a pedestal. And next to it is an open book.
Vale will certainly, I think, take a moment and stop obsessing with this amazing piece of technology or magic or whatever Isaac Asimov said the difference between the two was, and certainly approach the book with his lamp.
I'll give you a hint. The difference between technology and magic is how much the author cares to explain. If I don't want to talk about it, it's magic. If I'm interested in talking about it, it's technology. Yes, excellent. So as you get closer to this, and you are still by yourself, although you can hear some clangings and bangings that make you think that your friends are probably going to be here in just a moment. It's not just like when you were in the vestibule, when you were farther away, it was the words you were saying out loud. And now you look, and it's the essence of the thoughts you're having. Like, as if an author were writing your inner monologue is happening on your hands. And the closer you get, it's not your inner monologue, it is your life story. It is your goals and your fears and your failures and your joy and the people that you love and the first memory you ever had. And what's interesting about this is a lot of this ink on your skin is a blue-black, a pretty common quill ink color, but some of it is red. Yeah, some of it is not the same as the rest of it. So that's your problem. Hey, Hawk, what you doing? Are you on a date?
Yeah, he's just following her around with his hands clasped behind his back.
Like a gentleman.
And in his right hand is that brass tamper.
Okay. And she is glowing with happiness to see you again. She is showing you around sections of the library that they've just newly added, and sections of the library where they've just borrowed this lovely new collection of books on a particular type of animal husbandry for an animal that has not existed since the cataclysm, and you have no idea what she's talking about, and all of these things. And she's like, oh, it's just so exciting that you're back and we can just go back to our lives. I've always dreamed. And she's sort of just like wistfully meandering through a conversation. Tell me about the war. Did you win? Is it over? Can you finally stay?
Darling, nobody wins war. That's not the way war works. But yes, the war is over.
So, you're back forever?
Yes.
I knew we'd be together one day. I knew you wouldn't leave. And, I mean, yeah, that's what her diary did say.
Mhm.
So the longer you stay in the presence of this ghost is a problem. She's very near you. She's not actively trying to harm you, but like humans shouldn't be this near to like you're just not built for that. She's got like it's almost like ghost radiation. So the longer you stay on this date, the more you're going to take harm. I would like you to take another level 1 harm, just cold.
Can I flashback to when we were talking about him going off with her as Peebo and I are heading to the elevator? Can I slide him my Spirit Bane charm to help him
You
resist the effects?
You can. Let's talk about this particular Spirit Bane charm. I feel like this is going to matter. Is this bear spray or bug spray?
That's a good question. Bug spray, I would think.
Okay. So you are trying to give him something that is going to make her not want to be around him?
No. I want it to be. I'm sorry. It would be bug. It would be bear spray then. So I want it to be repellent if he chooses to use it. Yes.
Okay. That's.
Yes.
We can totally do that. You know all about different types of Spirit Bane charms, and it is absolutely free that your character would know the difference between those two and would be able to hand him what he needed. That's free. You're an expert in that. Okay, so Hawk, you are not an expert in that, but you are vaguely aware that your friend has handed you something that in the event of an emergency you can somehow use to protect yourself. He didn't really explain it because he just kind of palmed it, but you've seen this kind of thing before, kind of. It's probably fine.
Oh, he knows what a Spirit Bane charm is. Trust me. He's been very vocal about not liking this sort of thing. So yeah, he's very he knows what a Spirit Bane charm is.
Excellent. Okay, perfect. That's probably good to have around. Yes, and she is showing you around, and she is telling you all of the things, and she is bringing you to as I mentioned when you guys first came in to the Lost District, part of the library has sort of like the foundation has sunk a little bit on that first floor, and where she is walking looks to you very precarious. Like it looks like this part of the floor has not held weight in a long time. Like it's like you can physically see like it's kind of bowed. Like some of the floor tiles have like already fallen through. Like the it's not called a foundation when it's between floors, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like the beams and stuff.
Yeah, like the floor joists.
Yes, is just not great. And that obviously doesn't bother her. She doesn't realize it, and she is trying to excitedly tell you about all the books in this section. And there are some against the wall. There are actually some the bookcases that are like against just the wall are still there, but everything else has like kind of sunken, fallen in. And those ones are actually about like the history, the technological history of Duskfall, obviously up until the Cataclysm, which is not information that most people have, by the way. So were you able to get to those books, they would probably worth a pretty penny. But there's just like sinking floor and then hole and then sinking floor and then books. And she's like, come, darling, look, we've just finished remodeling this section.
He will stop where the floor is beginning to bow, and he'll look off to his right and say, "What of this section? What have you? What is? Are there any new additions over here?"
Oh, of course, yes. Those are, yes, this way. And I'm going to cut over to Barney and Peebo. You guys are cat burglaring yourself down down an elevator shaft.
Yes.
Yeah. And like a Peebo, as soon as Hawk starts walking away, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Lead on.
Luckily for you, it looks like the car in this elevator is actually stuck above you rather than below you. So you were able to just drop straight down there. So that's nice. If you would like, you just, because nothing else is going wrong and everything seems pretty much fine, you guys can drop right down into that scriptorium.
Yeah, cool. I'd go down first, and then I'd kind of wait at the bottom for Barney. In case he falls, I'll try to catch him.
And I struggle all the way down. I don't have the upper arm strength for this.
Oh, perfect. That sounds like you should roll about it then. And it sounds like you're getting an assist.
Absolutely. I'm going to try prowl.
Yeah, that's a pretty prowly thing.
I'm going to push myself, though. So I will take the extra die for that.
Go for it. And yes, I know we are getting towards the end of our time, but I figure we might as well get at least most of the crew into the scriptorium and then end for the evening and continue with part 2 of our annual Valentine's Day special.
So I got the Alpha and the Omega. I got a 1 and a 6.
A 1 and a 6, baby. All right, a 6. You totally do it. I think in your case, that means you make it most of the way and then fall a little bit, but Peebo Jorts catches you.
And right in my arms.
Nobody mentions it ever again. You just go, you know what? That didn't happen.
Right.
Congratulations, you are in the back of the scriptorium. So you come in, you see something very similar to what Vale saw. There's not a pile of bodies right when you get through your elevator, but you're seeing, like, you come around a small corner and you see Vale walking towards the center of the room, and as he's walking, his body is being covered in ink.
Ours
and
is
you
not,
see
though.
The bodies around him, you see the bodies behind him. Sorry, what did you say?
No ink on us, though.
Have you said anything?
No. Well, I said, yeah, we don't speak of this.
Okay, so the words, we don't speak of this. That would be a pretty dope tattoo, let's be very honest.
I probably whisper out, Vale. So I'm going to have a tattoo of Vale.
Well, I do want to be clear, these are not tattoos. This is like, this is as if someone had taken a quill to your skin. It will eventually come off.
Very useful in scriptorium.
It's not that scene in Harry Potter where it's
I must not tell lies.
Flesh.
You know what? Actually, I didn't think about that, but yes, it is very similar situation. Yeah, so three of our lovely, intrepid heroes are down in this cute little scriptorium. I mean, honestly, could be an Airbnb. And Scott upstairs having the time of his life with his long lost love Fawn. I think that's a perfect place to end for the evening, and we'll come back to this.
Excellent.
Thank you for joining us for part 1 of our Valentine's Day special. I love Valentine's Day. I think everybody should. All of this, of course, is happening as the streets of Duskfall erupt into a purge and Mardi Gras-like romp. And you guys are safely outside the city for that. And this, safely outside, away from all of that.
It's nicer out here. It's clearly nicer out here.
Clearly.
Way nicer. There's sexy ghosts and books everywhere. This is great.
Yeah.
Hawk's clearly loving it.
Obviously. So join us again on Tuesday, where we will finish our thrilling conclusion. And if Brett can't come, then he's just going to die in the scriptorium. Sorry, Peebo.
I should be able to come.
Anyway, I have been Jenna, your GM. You can find me here and also on Fem Gamer Party sometimes. I say the same thing every time. So that's it. Brett, who the heck are you?
I am Brett. I stream Dungeons and Dragons on my channel, twitch.tv/awar. Some other games too sometimes, but also play a lot of games here on Random Encounters Guild. It's a great place, and if you look at the chat, I'm going to try to see if the Discord link will come up. You should always join them and play all kinds of games like here. I guess it didn't come up there.
Oh,
but
yeah, I got it.
But from there, I was playing Peebo Jorts, and your friendly, not the smartest guy, but the muscles of the operation, and made it to the scriptorium with Barney, and we'll let Scott tell us who Barney is.
That's right. I'm Scott, and you can find me here every Tuesday night and playing Blades in the Dark and having a good time. So over to Brandon.
My name is Brandon. You can also find me here on Tuesday nights playing Blades in the Dark. If you didn't catch us last week, we did a one-shot of Blade 68. Everybody had a really fun time. And maybe there'll be a little bit more of that coming in the future if adults with kids can make schedules happen. So stay tuned for that. Guildmaster Scott, how about you close us out?
I am Guildmaster Scott. I've been playing Eddie the Hawk Hawkins, and here at the Guild, I am privileged to get to play every now and then, as in this game, but I am usually the GM in a lot of our things. Sunday nights, we've got Alien, Chariot of the Gods, and then on every other Monday night, we've got Symbaroum, the Chronicle of the Copper Crown. It will be off this coming Monday, but we'll be back. We played last night, so... And then here every Tuesday night, and then every other night of the week, we're going to be playing Blade 68. So,
every day.
So yeah, that is us. I think we're going to, it looks like the Lollygaggers are going right now, so we will give them a raid. They're playing Perils and Princesses. So yeah, join us back here Sunday night for the second episode of Alien, Chariot of the Gods. Where did Brett go?
Who cares? Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah, say good night, everybody. There
Good
he
night,
is.
everybody.